All right. This is the legal blindness journey, number 46, I do believe, at this point. And let's see what's going on this week. I tried out about 5 different pairs of these special glasses that they'd sent me. They are basically they take out certain wavelengths, and for some blind people, they help with the headaches and with different things on screens that are messing with you. I guess is the easiest way to say that. Unfortunately for me, they really didn't. 4 of them really didn't do anything, and one of them was on one hand helping a little bit, but on the other hand, made it where you couldn't do the work. Literally, like if you looked at Excel, all the colors were just a bland yellow, no matter what color they really were in the palette. And they made everything slightly distorted. So over time, they made it worse. I know it's kind of hard to. I'm putting hard to put it into words, basically. So, initially took some of the strain off, but over a few hours, it put it on because things weren't as clear, if that makes sense. So I'll say there's something to the wavelength glasses, but unfortunately they're not beneficial for me personally. I am still waiting on the Starlink Cocoon glasses. They're not about removing certain wavelengths. They are about the reflective glare and things like that that are supposed to be specially designed for blind people. So we'll see if those, have a positive effect. I really hope they do. But yeah, unfortunately, the actual ones that take out certain different wavelengths, they're just not going to be for me. But hey, it was worth a try, and that's okay. Migraines were still pretty high this week. Working on it, a lot of some of it's me. I just get tied up in things, and I'm not doing as good of a job telling myself, okay, it doesn't matter, take a break. But I'm going to keep working on that. See where we go with it. Then the other piece, what else this week? So this happened. My parents are visiting, so I had I had an audience. But at any rate, one of the dogs, they're all under 20 pounds, little things. But at any rate, one of the dogs thought it would be fun to lay down and put their paws out where the blind man was going to be walking and stepping there. And normally they're really good about getting out of the way, but this one, she just didn't. And as I stepped down, I didn't step fully, yet. But as I was stepping down, I felt her and heard her, at that point. And so I went to pull my foot up, and when I did like a side back step or whatever. So now I'm a little off in my spatial orientation in the kitchen area, how far I am from each counter, and stepped squarely on one of her toys, lost my footing, and reached out for counters, and ended up on my butt on the floor. And the thing is, there's a couple of ways you can handle situations like that, whether you're sighted or not. You can be embarrassed, you can be aggravated, mad, frustrated, which is not the path I choose to take. And I think it's important to take a positive path on things because they're going to happen. Or you can laugh at yourself, give permission to others to laugh with you, which is what I did, and called the dog over, cuddled it, and it was like that was they were joking about the Matrix and how I was falling in slow motion, and I had fun with it. Don't get your feelings hurt by crap. It's going to happen. Biggest thing to do is just smile and laugh it off and laugh with it. Initially, I've been dealing with this for a little over a year now, and initially, that's not how I handled it. I got very frustrated, very, very upset by those situations, and I've learned to grow to, well, that was funny as crap. I literally fell like the Matrix dude backwards because I was grabbing for counters, so it was slowing my fall. And so it looked like the Matrix dude falling backwards with the bullets going by. I mean, it was about that slow of a fall. It really was. Because I grabbed one counter and barely got it with the fingers, and the other counter, and then I slipped and blah, blah, blah as I was going down. So, it's going to happen. Laugh at yourself. And, we're pulling fence, and, I had to get the tractor in a position yesterday, and I completely did not see a tree, and I just drove right into it, which is fine because I drive really slow because I expect to make those kind of errors because I expect my eyes to lie to me, and there's things that happen. And, but I did. I drove square into that daggum thing. And, my mom's standing there looking at me, and that's, she's in her 70s, and that's, you can take that in a lot of different ways. And I chose to go, well, it should have moved. Doesn't it know I'm blind? And she laughed, and I laughed. I backed up and drove around this tree. Whatever. And, I think that's a big part of what I'm learning with this is just, you got to just laugh it off, man. A lot of this stuff, that doesn't fix the migraine problem. Don't get me wrong. But, when you're in a store, people are staring. It depends on how far away they are, but, you can tell people are staring. And you can sit there and dwell on that, or you can be like, yeah, I'd stare too. I mean, how many times in a town of, 13, 14,000, you got a blind dude running around? And for that matter, I'd wonder, why is he in a feed and seed store? I'd wonder the same question, because I would be ignorant of the fact that just because you're blind, that doesn't mean you're sitting in a corner staring at the wall, until you die. That's not how it is. Or at least I hope it's not for anybody out there. Get your butt up and get moving. Do something. Anything. You can do something. And so you got to shake these things off. And that's, there's been a few of those experiences this week. And I think I'm not going to put a check mark on anything, because this is a journey. This is a process that doesn't have a conclusion point. But I'm getting better at not even thinking about it, quite frankly. I had to think hard about it just for my journal, but because it was a non-event for me now. And used to be, it was in my mind, in my forefront. Complete non-event now for me. I'm just laugh it off and move on. And I'm like, yeah, I'd do the same thing probably. Wouldn't know any better. And so we had those things. But beyond that, you got to do things new and different, right? You find new ways to do old things. And so, one of the things was we're putting up pasture fence, and that requires you to nail in a staple. And I don't mean a staple as in a gun that from your desk. I'm talking about 9 gauge thick staple. And, after smacking my fingers on pretty much every hammer swing almost, I mean, I'm not exaggerating by much, I was like, all right, I'm blind. So figuring out where the hammer is in relation to where the little staple is not working so well for me anymore. So how can I do this different? So I've got a staple gun. And yes, they make a staple gun that shoots those big post staples. So I've got a staple gun. And, I hated to spend the money, a couple $100 to do that. But guess what? I walk up to the fence. It's done. It's done. And the staple gun's designed with a bunch of safety features. Won't fire for a whole lot of reasons. I won't go into all that. But the fact of the matter is, I do have to be more mindful of, okay, let me make sure all of my digits are well away from where where this is about to happen and all that, and I do. But at the end of the day, job's getting done. It's just being done different, you know. Now I will tell you, I've been putting up fencing for 30 years probably, off and on. And blind or not, if I'd have known about this staple gun thing, yeah, I'd have bought one 30 years ago. Holy crap, that thing was awesome. But also, I love the fact that my little digits weren't getting hit by a hammer every freaking swing. So, again, it goes back to, you can sit there and waller in it. You can go, oh, I can't hammer a nail anymore. Or you can go figure out a new way to do it. Living a great time. There's a lot of things that can be done. I'm not saying there aren't hurdles that, you can't get over that mountain. You're going to have to drive around that one. That is what it is. Like driving is one of those hurdles. You can't drive. So how do you drive around the mountain if you can't drive? Well, now my spouse drives, or you get delivery services, things like that. And, try not to be frustrated by the fact that you just can't run down and grab that one extra 2x4. And so in the future, every time you order lumber, you order 5 or 10 extra pieces, because it's real expensive to get one. And it's really cost inhibitive if you can't do it. So you learn, which is what I've done. Okay, I need 8 sheets of plywood. Well, I'm ordering 12. And you know what? It won't be waste. I'm going to have to store it and use it on the next project. And, you just learn those things. And you have to. And it's been hard. I ain't going to lie. But the biggest thing is keeping that positive attitude about this stuff. That's really the biggest thing. So, good news, probably next weekend we'd be ready for goats, I think, based on the track we're on, unless something goes wrong. That's kind of cool. And the chicken coop's coming along. It may not be very straight, but it'll be functional. And any chicken that complains, I'll just eat it, and they won't. I don't know where we're at on that one. That could be done in a week. It could be done in 4 weeks. I don't know. That's the other thing about this. I have to give myself a ton of grace, and it's hard to be able to go, it's okay that I wanted to get or in the past when I was didn't have visual impairment, the chicken coop would have been done in a couple of days, and now it's a couple of weeks. That's okay. It's okay. And that's hard to get your head around especially if you're one of those people that is just go, get her done. And you have to be, I will, but it's on a different timeline. And that can be a challenge. So, but anyway, coming up, again, waiting on the starlight. So hopefully that comes in soon. So we can try those out, see if they work. I hope they do. I got to try out, not try out, but I got to use my monocular. It's not a binocular, the monocular, which has the digital screen, to be able to watch the birds yesterday with Mom. That was kind of cool. It's neat to be able to do that. And, they're like, oh, look at the bird over there. I ain't seen no bird over there. So I grabbed those, and there you go. Now you can watch the birds with them. So it was neat. Biggest thing is, I think coming up is, like I said, the starlight glasses, see what we can do with that. Keep working on the brakes for the migraine thing. Try and get these things under control, because they're literally no joke. And working towards getting the animals out on the farm and whatnot, so that we can accomplish those goals. And all right, well, I guess I'm gonna keep on keeping on. Keep trying to be positive about it, and just keep a smile. That's the big thing. I've noticed when I lose that smile, when I lose that positivity, even for a little bit, a micro minute, that's when it hits much harder. So it sounds cliche, but keep a smile on, and the rest of life becomes joy. So, all right, y'all be good out there. Peace out.